Hello everybody who is watching out there, and welcome to the ToniSport Newsfeed. Today we want to look onto some body shells once again. It's almost 1 year ago now since we have launched the ToniSport Newsfeed with our first video, and in the first video we talked about the high downforce body shells, which really started to rule the scene back in these days. And we compared the Protoform Type S, the Mon-Tech Racer and the BD Design JP8 body shells in our first video. And since then we did some interesting videos, I think. Today we are back on the body shell topic because today we have a almost similar situation than 1 year before or 1.5 years before, because the body shell market is still developing and developing very, very fast. There were a lot of new body shells coming up in the last couple of months and in the last year especially. And so before we want to take a closer look today on the new Mon-Tech Racer2 body shell, I like to compare it a little bit with the old one. Just some words why we do the body shell video once again now. In 2017 it was the Mon-Tech Racer which had a huge impact on the ETS race in Ettlingen. It was the final race of the season 2017 there, and the Mon-Tech Racer was almost coming out of nowhere and was the body shell to have on the racetrack. And at my last ETS in February this year in Daun in Germany, we had a situation which remembered myself a lot to the situation from Ettlingen, because a lot of guys painted the Zoo Racing Dogs Bollocks body shell in the last minute before the race to go out with this new body shell. And it seems like the Dogs Bollocks performed amazing on the track, and all the drivers, they were really impressed. So from these days on, I listened a little bit more to drivers talking in the pits about body shells, and it's a little bit a difficult thing to talk about, because there are some guys who like the fast and aggressive development in the body shell sector, and others, they don't like it because they say, hey, the body shells, how they look today, it don't have a lot to do with the classic touring cars we know from the real racetracks out there. But it's not so easy to talk about that, because in my opinion the development will never stop, and we will always get products which make us faster on the racetrack, not only body shells. I mean, when you're honest to yourself, just take a look back what you bought in the last year, which products and which stuff you really need to go fast and which not, which you maybe only buy because they look cool, because you like the design of a product and things like that. And it's the same with the body shells in my opinion. But a body shell is something you really notice on the track. You change a body shell and you have a completely different car. So in my opinion it absolutely makes sense to test all the new body shells. I mean, the result in the end at the ETS in Daun was almost the same as it was in the races before, because the top guys, they will always be in the front in my opinion. They are so good in stock and in modified that it will never happen that only a body shell will bring a guy from the C main into the A main. This is impossible at a race like the ETS. But it's interesting to see how the people follow a trend, how a product can come up in the spotlight at one single race and everybody wants to have it. So for myself, it's clear that the other manufacturers around the Dogs Bollocks body shell in this situation, or the Mon-Tech Racer body back in 2017, all the other companies around, they will take a look as well. They will try to push their products in the same direction. They will try to develop and to get even a body shell with the same qualities and characteristics out on the market, because they want to sell products as well. So that's in my opinion not a big problem, and it's the same with all the other products. It's with electronics, with tuning parts, with the chassis, and with all these things. So we don't have to be confused about the body shell market, I think. So now let's go a little bit more in detail to the new body shell from Mon-Tech. We just want to show you some details and some differences from version 1 to version 2, and I hope you will enjoy the video. So now we have both Mon-Tech Racer body shells here on the pit table. The old version, the classic Racer, and the Racer 2. In the first step, we want to check out the front section. As you easily can see, the new Racer body is looking a little bit more aggressive, with some more edges here on the front hood. You can see these sections here with a very hard lining in the design, and the middle section of the front hood is a little bit lower than at the old body shell, which will give the body shell a little bit more of an aggressive look, and I think it will give the body shell as well a more aggressive steering character. And Mon-Tech also says that the Racer2 will have a little bit more aggressive initial steering feeling, and when you look at the front from the side, you can easily see that the body shell changed a lot here in the section. You have more steps in the front, and as I said before, this center section with the hard lines in design, and the lines here will also continue in the lines beside the front window, beside the front windshield. So the overall front design, when you compare it to the old Racer body, has changed a lot in my opinion. The body shell now is a little bit more flat in the front and looks way more aggressive. When you look at the side, one of the trademark designs of the Racer 1 was this line here in the center, which was stiffening up the side section and prevent it from folding and then vibrating on a high speed at a straightaway. So this line is not visible anymore on the Racer 2, but you can see that there are two different airflow lines here on the side now, which also will generate a very stable side section on the car. Last but not least, we have to take a look from the rear section, from the rear of the car. Just have to adjust the camera a little bit. So the top section of the roof is also a little bit different, because you can see that the roof on the old body shell was smooth and round. It was a little bit more soft. And on the new Racer 2 body shell, you can see that the roof and the lines are also way more different and aggressive. And also the roof feels a little bit more stable due to the new design here from front to rear. And I think this will also create some more downforce, because the roof will resist the air from the front a little bit better than the old Mon-Tech Racer body shell did. Okay, last but not least, we have to check the rear section, which is easily to explain that the main change in the rear section is in this area here. You can see this this part which stands out to the rear a little bit. It's feeling really stiff in this section, so maybe this will also help to prevent body tugs, and I think you will have a little bit more surface in this section compared to this one, and this will generate more stability in the back when you are cornering and when you maybe drive through longer sweepers. It's the same effect as you will have with the winglets. I have to add them here, because when the surface is bigger, you will get more side bite in the rear section while cornering. So overall, it's easy to see and easy to say that the Racer 2 has changed a lot compared to the Racer 1, and I think that Mon-Tech now also can provide you a body shell which is driving a little bit more aggressive than the old Racer. The Racer will still be a body shell in contention, but with the new one now you have two different options to test on the racetrack. And I will say, whenever you need a car which is feeling aggressive and turning into the corners really sharp, the Racer2 should be a choice for you to test. So guys, we are done for today. This was our little throwback to the video from the last year where we started our ToniSport Newsfeed with the body shell topic, and today once again we looked a little bit closer on the newest items on the market. I will go out and test the Racer2 in a couple of days when the weather stays as good as it is now. I will try to go to my home track and to try the body shell out. Generally, I would like to say, if you have the possibility, if you have the budget and the time to test some different body shells, go out and do it, because sometimes it's just the feeling and the look you will have with your car on your track, which sometimes will make the decision for you even more easy, which body shell you want to use. Sometimes the overall performance over 5 minutes is almost the same, but the feeling with the car on the track is slightly different, and you feel more comfortable with one body shell compared to the other one. So in my opinion, always important to know which body shell you are using and how it will feel and look on the track for yourself. So that was the video of today. The new Mon-Tech Racer2 body shell is available in the ToniSport shop, and it will be soon available also in a super lightweight La Leggera version. Until then, we wish you a nice day. Keep racing, race with ToniSport, and you will never race alone. Goodbye.